Welcome to our channel today. We bring you the top 10 books that can change your life. Before we continue, please press the subscribe button and the bell notification icon to receive regular updates whenever we upload a video. Books that entertain, inform, and are captivating communicate to the brain, mind, intellect, and emotions. Then some books seem to speak straight to the soul. Life-changing novels that challenge your basic beliefs and stick with you long after you are done reading them. Do you want to read books that will make a difference in your life? Do you want to gain leverage over yourself and make genuine changes, but you'd want some help? This list of 10 novels satisfies that requirement to a T. Please read them, but more importantly, follow their instructions. The finest outcomes will come from your actions, not simply your reading. These books, on the other hand, will provide you with the structure you'll need to get started. Number 10 is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. The true question isn't who we want to be, but who we want to be. Yuval has not only given a tale of the evolution of the world in Homo sapiens, but he has also revealed our behavior on the planet in Sapiens. Sapiens will tell you all about our common ancestor with chimps, how our brain and body evolved, the power of stories in uniting sapiens, how we wiped out all other animals, why we eat wheat, the agricultural and industrial revolutions, capitalism in its purest form, marital rape laws, humanity's biggest frauds, and the extinction of all other animals. Number 9 is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. Those of us who grew up in concentration camps recall guys walking through the huts consoling others and giving up their last piece of bread. They may have been few, but they demonstrate that a man may be stripped of everything save one thing, the last of human freedoms, the ability to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to select one's path. So life took on a new meaning for me when I picked up Man's Search for Meaning, a fascinating odyssey of an Auschwitz concentration camp survivor, the author Victor himself. Every line in the book contributes to the concept that a human's purpose is to act on what is in front of her and do what is necessary at the time. Even the smallest of ambitions may keep us going in the darkest of times. What man truly requires is the trying and battling for a worthy purpose, a freely chosen activity, rather than a tension-free condition. He needs the call of a potential meaning waiting to be fulfilled by him, not the release of tension at any cost. This is one of those mind-opening novels that makes you realize how miraculous it is we are here, breathing and living, and that we should simply keep going. Number 8 is Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. We all want to be happy, yet our lives are different yet the same. Human greatness is based on character and goodness, not riches or power. People are just people, and while we all have flaws and weaknesses, we are all born with fundamental goodness. Those who have faith and courage will never perish in misery. I'm not sure I should include another Holocaust book so soon. However, Anne Frank's diary, written while she was a 13-year-old girl hiding in German-occupied Amsterdam and subsequently transported to the Auschwitz death camp, where she died, is a book of hope and one of the finest books to read about life. Number 7 is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Tom had unwittingly uncovered a profound rule of human behavior, namely that all it takes to make a man or a boy want something is to make it impossible to obtain. But Tom, I'm not everyone. They declared they'd rather be outlaws for a year in Sherwood Forest than President of the United States for the rest of their lives. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is a popular children's novel that I first read in the 9th school. Whether I read this book as a child and was introduced to the fine English language by Tom Sawyer and his companion Huckleberry Finn, two bright orphans growing up in Missouri along the Mississippi River, or for whatever reason, the book had a profound influence on me. Number 6 is The Buddhist Set, Meeting the Challenges of Life's Difficulties by Osho. You will miss out on this incredible opportunity to be alive if you cannot let life flow through you. Then you'll be anxious, then you'll be trapped in your thoughts, and unhappiness will follow. This book was purchased on a trip to the Himalayas in 2014. The Sutra of 42 Chapters is Osho's interpretation of a text taken from Buddhist quotes and collected by a Chinese monarch in the 1st century CE. The book, which is divided into 22 chapters and filled with amusing anecdotes, discusses why humans are always worried. The fundamental point to grasp is that man desires happiness, which is why he is unhappy. You will be more unhappy the more you desire to be happy. You can't stop, won't. All you can do is comprehend it. The halting of it is in the very knowledge. Remember that no one can cease seeking, and truth only emerges when the desire fades. Number 5 is The Little Prince, originally published in French as Le Petit Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. In the narrative, the narrator meets a young prince in the desert who claims to have come from a star. According to the prince, adults are perplexed by life and are continually rooting for things with repercussions. No one was playing for pleasure or living simply. Instead, everyone was laboring toward an unreasonable goal in the hopes of happiness or success. Number 4 is The Boyhood Days by Rabindranath Tagore. For me, the terrace was the desert I had read about in novels, with its lovely desolation reaching in every direction and the scorching air blowing up a cloud of dust as the sky got dim. We couldn't get out much, but our second-floor roof provided us with a panoramic view of the city. A few years before his death, Rabindranath Tagore published The Boyhood Days, a book about his boyhood and growing up as a kid in Kolkata. Tagore discussed his journey through Kolkata, how lonely he felt in his large home surrounded only by his buddies, his brothers' wives, how absurd he found the closed, men-driven caravans for women, his aversion to formal education, a melancholy he felt for the world, and what he thought could change in the book. Number 3 is Stumbling Upon Happiness by Daniel Gilbert, one of the most important science books that can change your life. Because we don't recall our history properly, we don't know if we are happy or not, or how we truly felt at a certain time. We have no idea what will bring us happiness in the future. Our emotions and desires shift throughout time. What we know is simply the here and now, which does not need to be directed to make our future joyful, because we have no idea what will happen at that time. We can also make erroneous predictions about how we feel right now. Perceptions are portraits, not pictures, and their shape shows the artist's hand as much as it reflects the represented objects. Happiness is a subjective feeling, according to the text. Therefore, that individual and only that person is the ideal person to talk to about her happiness, and that we can foresee our futures because we can't remember our parts well enough. People want to be happy, and everything else they want is usually just a means to that end. Even when individuals choose to forego enjoyment in the time, such as by dieting when they could be eating or working late when they could be sleeping, it is typically to increase their wealth. Number 2 is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Habits are strong, but they are also sensitive. They can occur without our knowledge or be purposefully created. They frequently arise without our knowledge, but they may be altered by tinkering with their components. As a result, they have a considerably greater impact on our lives than we know. In fact, they are so powerful that they lead our brains to cling to them at the expense of everything else, even common sense. Habits are formed through cravings, and figuring out how to elicit a need makes it easier to form a new habit. Number 1 is The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin. What I've discovered is that I'm best at learning, not at Tai Chi or chess. Josh Waitzkin, a chess prodigy and worldwide Tai Chi champion, demonstrates in this autobiographical book that the procedure is more important than the result, underlines that success is an unavoidable byproduct of learning, and offers practical insights into the art of acquiring any skill. Linked are my articles inspired by his ideas. The reality of the issue is that if we don't give it our best in every task, we won't learn anything. At the point of resistance, growth occurs. We learn by pushing ourselves to our limits and discovering what truly lies at the limit of our abilities. We must be able to do something slowly before we can hope to execute it well at a fast pace. Thanks for viewing this video. Comment down below which part do you like the most, or click the thumbs up button if you like the video.